that? Glorious silence. Last night we finally got our solar hooked up, or Derek got it hooked up, and now we have energy without having the generator on. So it's just like so quiet and so nice to be able to open the windows and listen to the birds and just have total silence and actually have like energy without having to turn the generator on. I love it. So I was actually just going to make us some pizza for lunch, and I wanted to vlog it for you guys because if you don't know, we don't have an oven in our tiny house. So the only time that I've ever made pizza since we've lived here was like a frozen pizza, and I made it on the stovetop in a pan, and it actually worked really well. So today I want to try and like make my own deep dish pan pizza and show you guys how to make it. And I think that it's gonna work out pretty good. So let's get started. All right, so to get this started, we're going to need a cup of slightly warm water. You wanna make sure your water isn't like super hot or anything, because if it's too warm, then it will kill the yeast. So it should basically just kind of be like room temperature, which this is way too hot. So it should basically be, you don't want it hot where you stick your finger in it and it feels hot. You want it to just feel lukewarm. So we're just going to pour this into a bowl and then add in a packet of dry yeast. So I just use this brand. It's just the brand that they have at our grocery store here. So we'll pour that in and we'll just let it sit until it bubbles for a little bit. Move this so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And I kind of just whisk it around to get it all so that it's not clumpy anymore. All right, so next we're gonna add in 3 cups of flour really slowly and just stir it around as we add it in and kind of like knead it together a little bit. We're not actually gonna like legitimately knead this recipe, but just a little bit because I don't have an actual mixer. But if you have a mixer, you would want to do this in a mixer without a doubt. It's just, we don't have one. So I'm gonna use a whisk and basically just mix this how a mixer would mix it, by hand. Then for the other 2 cups, I'm just gonna do it with this spatula, or else it's all like just gonna get stuck in the whisk. Alright, so I actually only used 2.5 cups of flour because the recipe that I found online that I'm kind of loosely following used oil, and I don't want to use oil. So as you can see, I still have a decent amount of flour in here, but I'm just gonna leave it in there and cover this with plastic and let it rise for about an hour. For assembly, I have this marinara sauce, which is gonna be our base. This one actually isn't oil-free, but I kind of didn't plan super well for this, and this was the best one I could find at our grocery store. So we're gonna use this. I got some mango salsa here, some corn, peppers, and onions that were frozen. I'm just letting them defrost. And then in here, I have some kale and spinach from my garden, and some broccoli from my garden, and then some shredded carrots. And then for seasoning, we're gonna use some minced garlic, some Italian seasoning, and then we're also going to put some cashew Parmesan cheese on here, which I'm gonna show you guys how to make right now. Okay guys, so for our cashew Parmesan, you're going to need about 1/4 cup of cashews. Then we're gonna add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I honestly, whenever I make this, I never measure it, I just kind of wing it. So if you like it more cheesy, add more nooch. If you don't, add less. So then we're just gonna add in a tiny bit of garlic powder. I just use like 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then we're gonna need salt because cheese is typically very salty. So about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. All right, so now we're just gonna throw this in our blender and blend it until we get kind of like a Parmesan consistency. So it should look something like this. And I didn't add any salt to the base of the pizza because I like to keep it more low sodium. But you could add salt or your seasonings to your dry flour before you add the water. But I just want to keep it more low salt. So usually salt hits like the tip of your tongue. And if you add it into things, it really dissipates the taste, but you still get all of the sodium. So by putting this cashew parmesan on the top of the pizza, you're still gonna get that really salty taste, but you're not gonna get even like 1/8 of the sodium. So I just rolled this out, and now I'm basically just gonna put it in our pan and then just kind of like press it into the corners. So now we're just going to put on the toppings. I'm gonna set this to 450 and we're gonna cook it for about 12 minutes. Once I get all the toppings on and everything, we're just gonna put the lid on and just let it cook and see how it turns out.
Holy moly.
Doesn't it look good?
That looks like incredible.
I already gave them like the food porn of it.
It's like the best pizza I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh. Doesn't it look amazing?
Yeah.
Take a good piece. I want to pick this one. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Easily a 10. Like, no contest.
So good. It turned out really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dough. And like you could put anything on this pizza, but the mango like avocado combo is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, get there with a napkin. It's like all homemade and like no fake vegan cheese, which
Yeah.
we're fans of fake vegan cheese. We're not hating on it. But it's nice when you can make something from scratch at home. This is really good though.
Mm-hmm.
This is like Renee's organic oven.
Yeah. Like that's a $15, $20 pizza right there. $20 at least. Double thumbs up.
As much as you want. The crust is like so thick. Can't get it to focus. I'm honestly surprised that it turned out so well in the pan like that. I mean, I really watched it like a lot, and I kept just sticking the spatula underneath it to make sure it wasn't burning. Now you're gonna want me to make you pizza all the time. There's no time for talking.
No.
I can make another one. What's your favorite part about it? I think
That's like the entire thing.
I think the avocado is like the bomb on it.
Yeah.
Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I think we're just gonna end up eating the rest of this pizza while standing here in the kitchen.
Gotta get the thing that accompanies everything.
Look at this place.
Damn.
Alright guys, we'll see you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Peace.